Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So the San Antonio Spurs are currently 16-12 on the NBA season. They're like 6th place in the Western Conference, which of course changes on a daily basis. But with that being said, it was just announced that they are looking to shop Demar Derozan and Lamarcus Aldridge before the NBA trade deadline, which is in about a month. So obviously with this, they are looking to get younger out there. They're looking to, sell these guys while their stock is high. I mean, last year, Demar Derozan, people were saying this guy was completely washed up. People were saying that he just doesn't fit in this era of the NBA anymore and all this stuff about him. And now we're in this year and people are saying, damn, DeMar was actually snubbed from the NBA All-Star game, right, guys? So with that being said, both these guys are talented players that have multiple skill sets that can help contenders right now. And like I was saying with the Spurs, it's good to sell assets while their stock is high, right, man? Like, get you some good young players that you know can help you going into the future rebuild of this Spurs team. I don't really want to say rebuild because they already have a lot of good, really young players and stuff. They have like 8 players averaging like 10 plus points. But at the same time, too, man, like when you can get some other guys for those, top players that you currently have, it's definitely a good thing to do. So before we get going on today's video, I want to remind you guys, man, that I do have a third channel now called Crispy Flakes Plays, where I have started a Detroit Pistons My GM series. We're about to go on to episode 3 with that. Link to that in the description below. Also my reaction channel, Extra Crispy. And of course I have this channel right here, man, which if I could graciously ask you to leave that like, it would be greatly appreciated. But enough of that. Let's get going on this video. So honestly, I did ask you guys on my Twitter account at CrispyFlakes2K, like what trades you guys were kind of feeling. And yeah, I really wanted to pull from you guys just to see which one worked the best. So yeah, there was 2 trades, one for each of these guys that I really liked in particular that we are going to be doing for this video. But before we do that, let's discuss each of these guys individually. I think first let's look at DeMar Derozan. I guess I was literally right on him. Now let's go to the trades. We'll go to proposed trade. So DeMar Derozan, currently an 87 overall player. This guy's absolutely been killing it. The last season of his contract, averaging 20 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds per game. But I am going to shock the world with this next stat, man. This man is shooting 33% from 3 off 2 attempts per game. He is now a 3-point shooter. Sorta. He's been playing the power forward position, which has definitely worked out for him. And, yeah, he's been killing it, man. Like, much respect to DeMar Derozan. So, what team do I personally think DeMar should go to? I mean, I went from last year saying, like, I can't find a fit to now I feel like there's a lot of different places where it kind of makes sense for, a playoff championship run or whatever, right, man? So, last year I said the Orlando Magic. I said the Magic could use his scoring. And, yeah, so 76ers don't make a lot of sense. Bucks don't really make sense. Bulls don't make sense. I guess maybe there isn't no teams that make sense. Cavaliers, no. Celtics could be interesting, having him at the power forward spot. But at the same time, too, it's like, this team is kind of struggling at times, like with like interior and stuff like that, because Tyson's like their big boy center out there. Obviously got like Tristan Thompson doing stuff and the Time Lord, but yeah, I don't think DeMar Derozan fixes this team. What I honestly think they need is more of a playmaker at point guard. Nothing against Kemba, it's just what I think they need. Clippers, I could probably make a case for them, especially alongside Serge Ibaka. Could definitely work out a bit. Like I said, too, man, this man's averaging 7 assists per game. So, like, the playmaking is there. So, maybe just from that standpoint, maybe he could be the guy you kind of run the offense through on the Celtics. Who really knows about that? We got the Grizzlies. No. Atlanta Hawks. I guess I could kind of see it, him starting as small forward or something along those lines. Miami Heat, that's always a team that's interesting, like DeMar at the 4th spot alongside Bam. It does really hurt their shooting, obviously. I know I said he's shooting 33% from 3, but like I said, it's only off 2 attempts per game. So I guess there's kind of a fit there. We got the Hornets, no. Jazz, no. Kings, no. Knicks, could be interesting, a little playoff run too with them. Lakers, you hear about them a lot too, especially if you're looking to get somebody to kind of replace Anthony Davis for right now until he gets completely healthy, which could be sooner, or which actually could take a while with them, right, man? The Magic, I don't really see that happening. The Dallas Mavericks, I actually love the idea of the man DeRozan going to the Dallas Mavericks, guys. Just like straight up, Kristaps Porzingis, he's been great at times. He's been inconsistent at times. Luka needs like that go-to playmaker, a guy that can create a shot for himself and his others alongside him. I feel like this is literally the perfect fit. Porzingis can still stay at center. DeMar goes to the 4th spot. I love this fit right here, man. This is actually going to be the team we are probably going to do a trade with. The Nuggets, I can make a case for them to get another veteran player alongside Jamal Murray and Jokic. Pacers, Pelicans, Pistons, Detroit Pistons could bring it back to the Raptors. I mean, if there was somehow, like, some way to figure the money out, which there isn't because you already have, Fred VanVleet getting 22 million, 30 million right here, 30 million right here, then it would be awesome if this team could actually bring Demar Derozan and Lamarcus Aldridge over to the squad, because I feel like that could work. Like, point guard, shooting guard, Demar at the 3, Pascal at the 4, and then, of course, you could have Lamarcus at the 5, but there's just simply not enough cap space to get that done. It would be cool, though, man. It would be cool, but just not enough cap. Rockets, no. Suns with DeRozan? We might be able to make a case for that team. Thunder, no. T-Wolves, no. Trailblazers, once again, could probably make a case with them. And then Warriors probably can make a case if you really wanted to. But we are going to be doing a trade with the Dallas Mavericks. And this trade actually comes from JDS over on my Twitter account, man. He proposed a trade of DeRozan in exchange for Tim Hardaway Jr. He'll be part of the trade. And also Josh Green. Now, I don't remember when Josh Green was selected in the draft. He was the 18th pick in the draft. Extremely young player. He does have a lot of good potential out there. So the idea behind this trade, obviously, is just that, the Spurs get a good young player back, right? Like I said, DeMar DeRozan, as good as he's been this season, I don't think he has extremely high trade value. It's not bad trade value, but it's not like extremely high. So to get this done, we actually have to toss in a little bit more money to make it work. So, yeah, we will go with, it says the Mavericks take on too much money. Okay, so we'll toss in, no, I'm sorry, what did it say? It said the Mavericks would acquire $400,000 more than allowed. Okay, so we got to toss in somebody else here in this case. So we'll toss in, I'm not saying it would be Tyrell Terry. I'm just doing it just to get the trade done. So, yeah, then we, of course, have to toss in somebody else to make this work. Hopefully we can get that work. Trey Jones. Okay, I'm not saying those guys would be involved, but just to get it done. And it's interesting, getting Tim Hardaway over on the Spurs would give them some scoring right away. Josh Green's their promising player. Even, like, tossing in Tyrell Terry, I don't think would be, like, bad. He was the first pick in the second round, so I think that's fair. Honestly, too, just to, like, up the trade a little bit more, I do think, like, a second rounder might be included in that, though, because DeRozan has been playing really good this season. I think the Spurs should kind of get rewarded for that, so I think this is actually a pretty fair trade. This is from JDS, a little bit. He said DeMar for these two guys, so I add on a little bit more, but yeah, that's the trade we are going to go with right here, man. There we go. So we have him over on the Dallas Mavericks. Next up, we have to look at Lamarcus Aldridge. So Lamarcus Aldridge, different case. He's played about 19 games this season, averaging 14 points and about 5 rebounds per game. So he definitely looks like a guy that's just kind of getting up there in age now. When it's all said and done, man, he is 35, last year of his contract, so I don't think he has as much trade value as DeRozan does, but I do think there's teams out there that could definitely utilize him right now. So I don't want to go through every single team again, but just like a few to note. Obviously you got like the Miami Heat, that just seems like a good fit with Bam and Lamarcus Aldridge, so I think that would work out a lot. Maybe even like the Hornets, if they're looking to make a playoff run, then you give LaMelo and Gordon Hayward with Lamarcus Aldridge, gives you something nice, in the short term. The Raptors make a lot of sense as they're looking, for that Serge Ibaka, Marcus Gasol replacement. Chris Boucher is great. I just think they need a little bit more depth. If the Nets could pull off something, I did hear recently that Dinwiddie was actually on the trade block, so maybe that's something that the Spurs would be interested in, although they already have DeJounte Murray and Derek White, so I don't really know if they would really want special Dinwiddie, but that's a team. And obviously, too, you have to make the salary cap work, too, but there definitely is a trade there to be had if they want to. But the team, I actually like the Pelicans too, man. I'm not really a big fan of Steven Adams alongside Zion Williamson, if I'm being 100% honest, but at the same time too, it's like, it's got to be a team that's ready to win right now. It really has to be a team, because that's like Lamarcus is 35, so he doesn't have a ton more seasons left in him. So the team that I'm going to go with to make one big splash is actually on his former team, the Portland Trailblazers, guys. Obviously, he was great with this squad right here. This is a trade that comes from Depressed A's fan. He said Lamarcus Aldridge to the Blazers in exchange for Harry Giles would be part of the trade. Now, Harry Giles, there's your young player, only 22. I know the Spurs are looking for another center to kind of build around. Jakob Poeltl's great, but he's not, I don't think he's a great starter, if that makes sense. So you have him. You would also toss in Nazir Little, who was, yes, he was the 25th pick, although I do think that he kind of was a sleeper pick in that 2019 draft. I think a lot of people thought he was going to be a lottery pick, right? So he gets a new chance over on the Spurs. And it was going to be 2 second-round draft picks, which might be a little excessive. I feel like 1 is kind of good. Even with this, we have to toss in somebody else to make this trade work. So we are going to toss in Tyrell Terry, man, who's getting flipped around like a damn joint up in here. So, okay, $21 million. Okay, so that might not actually work. We might not be able to, we're not going to be able to at this point, unless they have some sort of, like, bitch-ass contract that's just, like, lurking. I'm not seeing it. Okay, so Depressed A's gave me this trade. I should have fact checked it first. Yeah, it just does not work. There's just not enough trade pieces here to get it done. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. At this point, what was my plan B personally? My plan B was going to be the Miami Heat. So I think we can probably get something done with them to make this happen, as they are another team that's they've actually been pretty damn good as of late. So we could definitely figure out something with them, as they do have some larger contracts. So it would be Andre Iguodala. It would be Kelly Olynyk. And yeah, they would have to trade somebody else back. But then, of course, you're still looking for the young player at this point, because those two guys is not enough. I don't think it would be Tyler Hero. I would honestly have to say Opala would not be bad. Opala would not be bad. I would not give up Precious Achiuwa. I would not do that. I like him too much as a backup. KZ Opala, I know Heat fans like him quite a bit too, but I do feel like you have to give up something to get something back. You know, it's not, no free samples out here. And I'm even going to say probably like a second round pick. So essentially, KZ Opala, second round pick for another championship run with Lamarcus Aldridge. And I think that kind of probably gets it done, man. So we'll do that one right there. Like I said, he's 35, guys. You're not going to get like a superstar back for him these days. But alrighty, so we have all those guys on the team now. Let's go to... what the hell's team selection? I always forget team selection and get all these other teams selected. So we got the Heat that we made a trade with, and also not the Trailblazers. It was the Dallas Mavericks. There we go. All right, man. So we got that all going for us. So first, let's look at the San Antonio Spurs and kind of see what they're rocking with now. You got Kellen Johnson, you got Derek White, DeJounte Murray. I would have to imagine Rudy Gay probably gets traded at some point too. Tim Hardaway for some scoring. So you got Devin Vassell, Lonnie Walker, Kelly. I mean, you got all these guys, man. It's like KZ Opala, Josh Green. I'm sure they would fit them into the rotation somehow. Neither one of those guys are like ready to like go. They're definitely some rebuilding pieces though, right, man? Like going forward. So we'll take away some minutes from all these guys, and we'll also get some minutes out here to KZ Opala and just kind of see what happens with them, right? Not expecting much. It's just kind of how it is, but okay, there we go. They got 15 minutes a game. It's a rebuild move. They got some draft picks out of it too. Keep that in mind. For the Miami Heat, Lamarcus Aldridge would go to the starting power forward position. Although I honestly think I would put Bam at power forward, because I would kind of trust Bam more, just kind of like guarding the other power forwards of the team. And while Lamarcus can shoot the three ball and stuff like that, kind of like a Brook Lopez thing, where he'll be on the outside shooting threes, but yeah, and then Bam Adebayo, put him at power forward, goes up to a 91 overall. I like that a bit better, so we're going to go with that in this lineup. It doesn't really help their rebounding, though, not going to lie, because like Lamarcus is not a great rebounder anymore, like he's only about 4 a game, but it does give them another scorer out there and stuff too, and maybe he can like up his rebounds. I guess like career-wise, is he like historically a good rebounder? I don't really think so. Okay, I mean, yeah, last year 8, 10, 9, 8. So he can definitely do it. It's just this year, whatever, he don't feel like doing it or something, man. Maybe it's motivation, not really sure. And then for the Dallas Mavericks, we are looking at, yeah, Brunson would be the point guard. So at this point, yeah, I do think I would want to keep DeMar DeRozan at that 3 spot. I would definitely want to keep, at that 4 spot. I'm cool with Jalen Brunson starting. Like, obviously, you're still going to run the ball through Luka Doncic, but I'm going to put him at the small forward position just because, like, that's where he's listed at right now anyway. And he goes up to a 95 overall, so you can't beat that. DeRozan, Dame, 89 overall, small forward himself. But very interesting team, man. I like this a lot. I feel like this team could definitely make a run at the championship. So let's go ahead and simulate the season right here. See how all 3 of these teams do. Simulate through date. There we go. And, yeah, man, so I guess just kind of, like, sum things up with DeMar DeRozan and Lamarcus Aldridge. Like, if you are a Spurs fan and you see this going on, you're like, damn, like, we are making a playoff run. We're currently the 60. Let's not give up these veteran guys. I still think when it comes to the NBA, the goal is to win NBA championships. If you're not winning championships, man, then you're doing something wrong out there. Like, there obviously is something to be said about rebuilding, too, and making the appropriate moves and realizing that a good team is a long-term investment, not something that's going to happen overnight unless you're like the Brooklyn Nets, then I guess you can make it happen overnight. But for the most part, man, like Lamarcus Aldridge's not getting any younger. DeMar DeRozan, stock at an all-time high, expiring contract. The way he's playing right now, he's probably going to be asking for quite a bit of money in free agency. I don't know if he's going to get a lot of money in free agency, but you don't want to get to the point where after the season, if you're the Spurs, you barely miss the playoffs or you barely make it, you get ousted in the first round, and DeRozan walks away because you don't want to pay him that large contract and you get nothing back for him, man. So I feel like getting a guy like a Josh Green really helps out a lot. It just gives you, something as a Spurs fan, something to be excited about as far as like, hey, like Is this guy going to be something for us? Let's find out. And then, of course, the draft picks. And like I was saying already with Lamarcus Aldridge, man, the guy is just, he's 35. He needs to be on a contender. And that's just not the Spurs right now, which is okay. I know Spurs fans are not used to saying that because of the Tim Duncan era, but it's okay to not be a contender every single season. There's something beautiful about a rebuild at times, man. But yes, we got the Mavericks getting a record of 48-33, Spurs at 33-48, and we got 53-29 for that Miami Heat team with Lamarcus Aldridge. So he has definitely made the biggest difference up in here. Let's go and simulate this last game on the season. There we go. LeBron MVP. Achua, 6th man of the year, who like I said, did not really want to give up from the Miami Heat, so I'm glad I did not do that. We got Luka, All-NBA first, okay, All-NBA second, All-NBA third, and yeah, none of the other players making none of that stuff, but we got Dallas as the 4th seed, Miami as the 4th seed. So, you know, for those two squads bringing in those players, it made a big difference. The Spurs, they didn't make the playoffs, but now you guys get to fade for Cade, right? So you got that going for you. But let's go to these player stats. And we got DeJounte, okay, we got Green, 8 points, 3 rebounds per game. Not like impressive. 4 points, 3 assists for KZ Apala. Let's go to the per 36. Those sometimes can tell a bigger story in these rebuild cases, though. So per 36, Josh Green at 18 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists per game. And Opala at 9 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, which really shows his all-around game. So you have that to be excited about, I suppose. But there we go, back to the regular stats. Alrighty, so we got them for the Miami Heat. We have Lamarcus at 14 points, 6 rebounds per game, but it also gave Precious Achiuwa a chance to really shine out there too, man. He had 9 rebounds, so he was really, really big for this team. But yeah, Lamarcus was solid, about what I would expect. Maybe about 17 points per game. I still think he could probably pull that off. And then for Demar Derozan over on the Mavericks, we have 19 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists as the second leading scorer, barely beating out Kristaps Porzingis, but regardless, you know, bringing it out there, man. And 2K, y'all need to fix your damn tendencies. The man is literally shooting threes now, so put his damn three-point shot tendency up. He shoots them, Ronnie! Sorry, okay. So let's see how these playoffs go. Simulate round right here, and I mean, Mavericks ousted in the first round for them, so bye DeMar DeRozan. Miami makes it onto the second round, so closeout game on this side, we got DeRozan 24-5-4, so it wasn't really his fault. Porzingis 5 for 12, not great. And then over here, we got Lamarcus at 25 points, man, having me in the leading scorer on that team in that final closeout game. Simulate round against the Philadelphia 76ers, got them 4-2, man. Yo, this team's trying to be a problem up here. 20-7 for Lamarcus. Here we go, Milwaukee Bucks, simulate round. And wow, the team gets back to the NBA Finals against the Utah Jazz. So yes, this definitely is working out for them. Simulate round. And there we have it, man. Lamarcus Aldridge was just what the doctor ordered up in here, man, for this Miami Heat team as they win the NBA championship. Power forward Bam was Finals MVP. And there we have it. I guess real quick here, we will go to the playoff stats. I want to see how, you know, both these teams did anyway. So in the playoffs, 21-5-5. Very nice. And then over for the Heat, we got 16-5-2. Nice to see, man. So yes, I think it's a solid trade all around. That's all I got for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.